Hi, so I was going to do a video all about the importance of kata in traditional karate, but I've decided to change that a little bit to do a video about the importance of kata just for me, because it's one of the few things I can do while training at home because my health is keeping me out of the dojo, which totally sucks. And plus I've moved and I haven't actually been able to find a karate dojo or school near me which is similar to what I do already. There are a few things around. I mean, like down the road there's a fight academy which does various things like boxing, kickboxing and other stuff, and I've found there's the nearest dojo to me, which is actually my style, is like an hour and a half drive away. There's one down the road, but that's sport karate. I'm not really into sport karate, so one of the few things I can practice at home. Obviously, I can do all the key-on basics and everything, but that just gets boring after a while, just doing that by yourself over and over and over again. So kata is something really good that I can do by myself. I can do it at home. If the weather was a bit nicer, I could do it outside. I've got a bit of space just out there or just behind here. I'm pointing that way. I don't know why I'm pointing that way because you can't see what I'm pointing at, but there's a large open area of land. It's not actually on our property, but it's really handy because it's right outside my door. So if the weather wasn't so grim, I could go out there, practice on there. So this is the kind of thing I can do while I'm not in a dojo. So for me, kata, it's not just like an important thing to learning techniques and combinations and bunkai and everything. It's actually important for me to actually feel like I am still practicing karate and I'm still part of it, although it's not quite the same because I don't have someone there to tell me where I'm going wrong, so I have to really rely on myself. I do video a lot of my katas. I actually started a video last year, back in 2018, of me showing all me practicing katas, and I was filming myself. I've still got them on my laptop. I started editing the video, but I haven't posted it because I was just looking at it thinking, I look awful. I don't like this. And plus I've put on a bit of weight because with my health I'm not exercising as much. I was just thinking, oh my god, I just look terrible. The kata looks awful. I look awful. I might post it one day. I don't know. I haven't deleted the footage, so that's something. So when I started thinking about making this video, and it was originally going to be about kata in general, I went on to Facebook and asked people in various different karate groups. I even made a video on this channel asking if anyone could donate information. Not one person responded on YouTube, so yay you lot. I had a couple of people write on Facebook, and I had some people even say they would send me video submissions of them talking about why they thought kata was important, which I was going to stick in here. As you can see, there's nothing there because not one of them got back to me. They all seemed really keen at first and then just vanished. I'm going to read out to you now what some people have said about kata when this was originally about kata in general. So kata is the segment of the alphabet song. Once you know the alphabet song, you can then disassemble the song into the letters. That's when the application of the letters can be analysed and used. Kata is the song of karate. Once you know the kata, you can disassemble it into individual techniques and combinations. That is when the application of the movement can be analysed and used. Okay, yeah, I kind of get what this person's saying. I haven't really thought of kata as a song before. I know some people have said maybe it's like a dance, and other people are like, no, it's not a dance because of a kata is like a precise movement and technique, whereas a dance is all flowing, but a kata can be flowing. I've never heard of it described as a song. I kind of get what they're saying, where if you analyze, you've got all the techniques and stuff together, and then you break it down into individual techniques, and then you can see those techniques and what they're used for. I'm not sure if I would describe it as a song myself, but it's an interesting analysis. I'm not really too sure what to say about that. Okay, so the next person has written, I was taught that kata is the building blocks of karate. If you visualize the battle, kata makes sense. We cover as we turn. That creates awareness. You're honing your footwork and techniques. If you jump between bunkai and kata, it will improve the visualization of the battle. Traditional karate is self-defense. So I get what the person here is saying that obviously when you do a kata, it's very easy just to do the moves and not understanding what you're doing. So I've met someone who did sport karate, and she was excellent at her katas, but she didn't understand what any of the moves were. She was literally just taught them as a sequence of moves, with never understanding why she was doing those moves and what those moves meant, and why this move is good to follow that move, and how it works in a combat self-defense situation, and which kind of defeats the object of really learning the kata. I mean, it's all very well going out on stage and performing in front of judges, doing all these wonderful moves. What's the point if you don't understand them? So this person here is saying that he was taught the kata as a battle. You got to visualize, and visualization is actually very important. It's saying that you need to switch between the kata and the bunkai. I always found this when I was learning a new kata. I often found it a lot easier to remember the sequence of moves if I could understand how those moves would work in a bunkai or application setting, how I would use those moves against an attacker. They're coming in with a certain attack, and then I do a certain block and move in a certain way, and it would all make sense. And if I was to just literally learn the moves, just like do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, without ever understanding why, I couldn't grasp it. I had to see it, I had to visualize it, and then understand. I saw a video, someone posted a video the other day, guy was doing that. So you could say it's like open move of Sunshin, or the opening move of Soshin is a bit more like it. And he was fighting someone with an assault rifle. It was a Russian video, and he was just doing that, and then of course the next move is that, and he was taking the clip out of the gun. So yeah, constantly seeing how the moves work and visualizing the moves is really important to actually understanding. Like high-end showdown, that's I'm forever seeing different applications of that. I think there's as many different applications for that kata as there are people that practice the kata. I've seen endless combinations of different things just on the first couple of moves, like blocking a kick, throwing a person, punching someone, throwing them, and it's just so many different things. And when I do practice the kata, I like to really visualize that I'm doing these particular moves, and I actually find if I'm visualizing a certain bunkai, then the way I do the kata will be different. Like if I'm visualizing that in high hand that I grab someone, and as I turn I'm throwing them down, I will do that with more emphasis. But if I'm simply just imagining that I'm turning and blocking a kick, then I do that with a different emphasis as well. And same with all the katas. So, well, what's the next person written? Kata is a aid memoirs of previously learnt martial arts skill, showing the trips and reps, the lock and restraint. Solo, maybe show the individual technique against a real life attack in a sub box. So stop kata at move 3, open new window, show that move in real life scenario, hoping that makes sense. I'm not sure if English is this guy's first language, but I kind of get where this guy's coming from. saying it's a memoirs of previously learned martial arts skill. So when I read it, I was thinking of previously learnt martial arts skills going like back generations, but I think he's just referring to one's self learning of martial arts skill. It is. It does remind you of previously learnt things. Like, I mean, I can do this. I can do punches all day. It doesn't really remind me of anything, but if I do it in a kata sense, it reminds me of those skills and reminds me that of the punch. And maybe that's a grab and then pull someone towards me and then a punch and throw them around. It does show different things, and like it goes the lock and restraint solo. Not quite sure what he means there, but yeah, you can do obviously locks and restraints and stuff. Um, Again, he's talking about individual techniques against real life attacks. It's similar to what the last guy was saying. So stop kata on move 3, open new window. I'm not sure what it's going about open new window. Maybe he's putting a computer reference there. Show that move in real life scenario. I don't see. Basically, what I think he's trying to say is analyze each move of the kata. Just stop at a random point in the kata and say, what can this move be used for? Anyway, moving on to the next person. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next thing. I've missed out a couple because it's just basically people asking me questions about what I'm going to put in rather than actually contributing stuff. Then we get back to this guy and he's saying, I concur, you may as well do dance moves if you have no understanding of the application. In my experience, knowing the bunkai for the kata improves the kata and vice versa, which is again what I've covered previously. And again, I said a bit like the dance where you might as well just be dancing if you don't know what you're doing. So it's basically just reiterating what I've already said. That's basically what everyone contributed. I think the reason there were so few contributions is because I did state it would go on YouTube, whereas I know I've put other things on these martial art karate groups. The list of people contributing is quite long and extensive, but I did specifically state that what they tell me will go onto YouTube for this video, which is probably why I didn't have as many contributions as normal, because some people get really funny about going on YouTube, but that's a whole other video. Basically, to summarize, it's really important to learn it, to understand the individual moves that you're doing, to understand why you're doing the moves. It's no good just learning the kata just for the sake of learning the kata. See, especially amongst the children and the lower grades, they desperately will just want to learn the next kata, before they fully understand and appreciate the kata that they're already on. They just want to learn the next kata. They see the more senior students doing a higher kata, and they're like, I want to learn that kata, I want to learn that kata. And it's like, well, you haven't fully understood the kata you're on yet. You need to understand that a bit more before you can progress. Of course, in the old days, the masters may only know like 2, 3 or 4 katas. They may just study those katas over and over and over and over again, instead of learning a long line and a long list of katas. I mean, I know quite a few katas. If my health hadn't stopped me from training, I would know maybe 2 more by now. But that's just the way it goes. So I practice the katas that I do know, try and understand them to their fullest ability. Keeps me flexible, keeps me nimble, keeps me fit-ish. As I say, there's only a limit on what I can do. But it really helps. If you don't understand the kata, then you don't really understand the rest of karate. Some people only like the fighting. They come to a dojo and they just like to fight somebody. They're not interested in the kata. They see it as a waste of time. They say, what is the point of doing all these precise movements? You know, they just want to get in there. They just want to beat the crap out of someone. That's fine if you're into that sort of thing. But if you look at even the most experienced people, maybe they're in the UFC or something, and it does look like they're just randomly beating each other up, you can actually break it down if you know what to look for, and you can see individual kata movements. Maybe they're doing it intentionally, maybe it's just coincidence, but those moves will be there. And if you do the kata and know the kata and can refine the kata, then when they do those particular techniques and moves on their opponent, they should be a lot more devastating and a lot more powerful than rather just doing them randomly, like doing an elbow to the face or a knee or something like that. It's hard to do while sitting down. And to actually see those moves done properly and effectively helps if you do the kata. Doing the kata will make those moves come better. Plus it's an art. It's called a martial art. For me, the kata not only is emphasis on the martial, it's very much an emphasis on the art side of it. Although to call a kata a dance is wrong, it is artistic. You can put your own personality on it, your own flair. You see two people doing exactly the same kata and it will look different, it will feel different, not just for the person doing it, but for the audience, the observer watching it. And it is an art form. So kata is like the very definition of the martial, the combat, and the artistic side, which together makes your karate wonderful. So for me, as I said, not currently being in a dojo because I've moved away, plus my health, kata is like one of my only links back to the world I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of the karate world, and kata is my link in. It's a way of keeping me fresh, to keep the moves in my mind, so that one day if my health ever gets better and I find a new karate dojo nearby, I can go back and I'm not going to be right back down as a beginner again. I can go back. I don't think I'll be at the level I was when I left. I've spoken about that previously. I have a video about leaving and coming back to karate, but it will help me to maintain some kind of level. So yeah, that is the importance of kata. I've got some other martial art videos planned. Later on in the year, in May, I intend on going to the martial arts show. So hopefully I'll be able to vlog that. Look out for that. Hopefully I'll have another martial art karate video between now and May. So subscribe to check out if I do post something, and I will see you soon. Bye.